know boxing, be honest. There's levels.
In the show, bro. The show.
Good he looks.
He's very sharp. That's all I can.
Dangerous.
Very dangerous. Don't look like he's a 46.
He looks like he's 36 or 26.
Yeah.
Gervonta Tank Davis was left stunned after witnessing Manny Pacquiao's intense training for the upcoming bout against Mario Barrios. Despite his age, Pacquiao displayed incredible speed and power, moving like a beast in the gym. His explosive footwork and razor-sharp punches made it clear he's far from finished and fully prepared to dominate once again. Pacquiao's teammates revealed that during sparring, he looked just as sharp and explosive as ever. They emphasized that he hasn't slowed down and continues to train like he's in his prime. One teammate mentioned that Manny completed 8 grueling rounds without any signs of fatigue, maintaining speed, power, and pinpoint accuracy. His movements were crisp, and his punches landed with perfect timing. Everyone was impressed by how fresh he remained even during the most intense sessions. According to them, Manny isn't just keeping pace, he's pushing it, shocking everyone with how sharp and ready he still is.
What's the most impressive? His speed, his power, his footwork?
It's everything. Because you don't see him slow down. People say he's slowing down, but he's not. I mean, that's where you're exactly going to be surprised because he's sharp, really, to be honest with you. Very, very sharp. That's why I don't want to say anything else, but...
No, leave it at that.
You know.
But how?
I live it that way, but...
Okay, so let me ask you this. In 11 days, he steps into the ring at the MGM in Las Vegas to fight Mario Barrios. How does the fight end?
There's a chance on knockout.
Manny,
I can see that.
You can see a knockout?
I'm not going to say what round, but...
Just that Manny wins either way, knockout or decision.
Yeah. I don't think decision. Maybe the decision is kind of... I don't know if it's going to distance, really. Because the way
Manny's that explosive.
Everything is... I don't know.
Okay, now let's talk about his son, Jim, for a second. How talented is his son?
He's a very good fighter. You know, he's
good power.
there.
I've seen him knock people out.
Yeah, he's but power. You know, but right now he's still. You know, we want him to grow more. You know, so to be ready. Actually, he's ready already. So we just want it to work in silence. And, we keep it that way.
What's your message to all Pacquiao fans who are watching this, who are getting ready, who are excited for Manny Pacquiao Barrios July 19, Las Vegas?
Tune in to this coming fight because it's gonna be a very good fight.
Don't go to the kitchen. Don't go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Don't look at your phone.
Yes,
because it can happen.
Focus on that because I know Mario Barrios also is training hard too. Manny also, he trained like there's no tomorrow.
Roy Jones Jr. expressed full confidence in Pacquiao's ability to win another world title in his comeback. Despite concerns over age and time away from the sport, Jones believes Pacquiao's discipline, experience, and fighting spirit make him unique. He called Pacquiao one of the rare athletes who can defy expectations, asserting that the Filipino icon has all the tools, mindset, and hunger required to compete at the highest level. Jones stressed that Pacquiao's dedication in training shows he's not back for showmanship but for real competition.
I would not be able to take credit for beating Pacquiao after he got knocked out by Marquez because that's not the same Pacquiao. Of course. That's not the Pacquiao that's top of his game. But in society today, we'll call that person the best fighter ever. Of course. When that's not how that goes. That's not reality. But in the business world it is because look how much money he made.
Here we go! Who's greater than me? I said, Sugar Ray Robinson. He said, Sugar Ray Robinson, how many wins he got? I said, he got like over 150 wins. He stopped for me. He said, well, who got more championship titles? Me or him? I said, hold on, Floyd. He said, answer the question. I said, Floyd, there's more titles now than then. There was just one then. That's no fair. Answer the question. I said, okay, you. Do I not have 28 titles? And I was just like, I don't know. He said, oh, you're supposed to be the expert. But the reason why I said that is because there's minor and major titles. Who else greater than me? I said Henry Armstrong, Roberto Duran. He said, oh my God. He said, you said something about Pacquiao. Yeah, I said, I think you'll beat Pacquiao every day of the week, but I think he had a greater career. He said, you ain't think Pacquiao was on steroids? I said, he didn't fail any tests, Floyd. He said, look at me in my eyes. I can't say, man, he didn't fail. He said, oh, man, I saw that as a initiation. This is what you about to get. Nobody's greater than Floyd. My thing is, he should feel that way, but you can't expect everybody to feel that you're the greatest, Floyd.
Mario Barrios made it clear that while he deeply respects Manny Pacquiao outside the ring, that respect ends once the fight begins. Acknowledging Pacquiao's legendary status, Barrios said he still views him purely as a challenger coming for his title. He emphasized that emotions won't play a role on fight night. He will treat Pacquiao like any other opponent threatening to take what's his. Barrios' statements highlight how seriously he's taking this fight and his refusal to be influenced by Pacquiao's legacy.
No, I think initially I was kind of just like shocked. I'm like, man, dude, like Pacquiao wants to fight me, right? He wants to fight me for my title. You know, I think for the sport of boxing and I think just sports in general, like Manny is that name. When you think about boxing, right? He's somebody that comes to mind. At least for me, like I've been watching him since I was, again, since my earliest memories of boxing. Manny has been a name that's like, okay, like he's the man. And yeah, you know, now he wants to come out of retirement. He wants to fight me for my title. I can't look at it as anything other than, you know, it's just another opponent trying to take what's mine. You know, he's outside the ring. I have, you know, nothing but respect for him, nothing but respect for everything he's accomplished, for the person he is, you know, everything he does, you know, for his country and more. But as soon as we step in the ring, you know, he's in there trying to take what's mine. I'm not training with the mentality, you know, that I'm getting ready, you know, to fight an icon, fight a legend. At the end of the day, he's just another man, you know, trying to fight for my title. He's going in there trying to, you know, take my title, and I got to do whatever it takes to make sure he does it.
Brian Mendoza praised Pacquiao's greatness but remained realistic about the role age could play. He noted that no matter how skilled a fighter is, time eventually takes its toll. Mendoza acknowledged Pacquiao's speed and instincts are still sharp, but he warned that physical limitations may become apparent in the later rounds. His analysis suggests that while fans admire Pacquiao's comeback, they should also be prepared for the reality that aging fighters often struggle to sustain peak performance in high-pressure bouts.
This is an unbiased opinion. Man, I'm looking forward to it, you know, even just as a boxing fan, you know, obviously coming up, it was always, you know, seeing Pacquiao's fights and stuff, and now to see the homie, you know, going up against him like that, it's wild, man. It's a wild feeling. I know even more so for him, but nah, man, I just think at the end of the day, I feel like, you know, the age will show up in the fight. I think at first, you know, he's had people talk about the layoff, but it's also a rest for someone at that age. So I feel like he's going to be rested. I feel like we might see, you know, hints of little old Manny, no pun intended, the old Manny. Little bits of flashes of that in there, but I think at the end of the day, man, Mario's super sharp. This is the sharpest I've ever seen him, you know, this far in camp. I'm super excited, bro, and he's gonna put on a great show. I still kind of lean towards like a decision, but regardless, it's Mario's way. If there is a stoppage, I think it'll be in like the second half. Like I said, you know, because I think that's really when the age is gonna show. Because you can look good in the gym, man, but once those bright lights are on you, anything that's wrong will come out. So as much of a legend man he is, I think, you know, he bit off a little more than he can chew with Barrios.
Despite the skepticism surrounding Pacquiao's age, many fans continue to believe in his natural talent and high ring IQ. Footage from recent training sessions has reignited hope, with supporters convinced he still possesses the explosiveness to take on younger opponents. They argue that Pacquiao's unique angles, relentless pace, and ironclad stamina have always given him an edge, qualities they believe don't just vanish with age. Much of the excitement behind his return is rooted in faith in his adaptability and sheer willpower.
To the ring against a young fighter, champion WBC, Mario Barrios. How do you see that fight playing out?
You know, Barrios is a tall guy and he's a tough guy. You know, I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt because Pacquiao is champion, the holder of the records of 8 divisions, and he knows how to fight, he knows how to win, so you always got to give it that opportunity for him to show up. And now whoever shows up in that ring, whether it's a desire to win or just try to be there, that's a question that we have to see. But I believe that he has the ability to do something to win the fight against Barrios.
Analysts agree that Pacquiao's best shot lies in starting aggressive and fighting smart right from the opening bell. Knowing that stamina could become an issue later in the fight, they urge him to take early control and use his trademark speed to overwhelm Barrios. By dominating the early rounds, Pacquiao can build momentum and avoid being worn down. The key will be exploiting Barrios' slower adjustments while staying out of unnecessary exchanges that could sap his energy.
To somebody about Manny coming back fighting Mario Barrios.
Ouch.
And this was the analogy I gave. Your timing is just, it slows down. That's time. Time slows you down. And so, to me, I think Manny has to come out very strong, very fast in the first couple of rounds because his gas tank ain't what it used to be. At 46 years old, you come out and let's just say hypothetically your gas is half full at 46 years old. I'd rather try to use that half tank
when I got something
in 2 or 3 rounds.
Yeah.
And really get off on this kid because he has the kind of style. Styles make fights. He's got the perfect style for Manny to do what he do. But the further that fight goes, the more that's gonna go down. He ain't young no more when it does this. It ain't gonna do this no more. It ain't gonna go down and then come back up. He not gonna create space, take a deep breath, and that thing shoot up the way it used to. He ain't gonna do that.
Observers have pointed out that Barrios' defensive style might leave him vulnerable to Pacquiao's aggressive offense. Some believe Pacquiao's fast combinations and strategic angles can break through Barrios' guard. Critics argue that Barrios' defense has flaws. A smart, high IQ fighter like Pacquiao could exploit them. If he stays alert and avoids early damage, Pacquiao has the tools to cause serious problems for Barrios.
It's hard to know, at the age of Pacquiao, what we're going to get from him, But I'll tell you this, depending on his conditioning, right? Depending on how much he can pop in on that instep that he brought to me, that notorious fast instep, if he can pop in that instep and if Pacquiao can get in, I know he can hurt Mario Barrios. Defense of Mario Barrios is still suspect. He is willing to get caught. You can catch the kid. It's not hard to find.
Many analysts insist that if age were to factor, Pacquiao would be the clear favorite. Even now, they say his fundamentals remain intact, and his boxing IQ is elite. They argue that if Pacquiao can showcase the same volume and footwork that defined his prime, the matchup tilts in his favor. One major talking point in his comeback has been his impressive training camp. Insiders report that he's moving with outstanding sharpness, throwing precise combinations and showing excellent footwork. He has reportedly gone several rounds without tiring and remains mentally dialed in.
Cool with Pacquiao against Mario Barrios?
I am. I'm cool with it. If I was cool with Manny Pacquiao coming back and fighting Keith Thurman, I'm definitely going to be cool with this one. Barrios is not a puncher. Thurman was one of the biggest punchers in boxing. I think he's going to be just fine with Mario Barrios, who we know what he is on the top level. He comes up short. He's been stopped by fighters that are less than Manny Pacquiao and Davis. So I like this fight. I think he's not going to be an overwhelming favorite, but I think it'll be a 50-50 fight regardless of his inactivity and age. His explosiveness, even at this age, his greatness, and the fact that you can never know what Barrios you're going to get. And yeah, man, I like this fight. Why not? Nostalgia, marketable. Everyone will be behind him. It'll be internationally successful. I'm in.
How are you comparing Pacquiao coming back this summer at 46 after not fighting in 5 years to Pacquiao in 2019 fighting Keith Thurman, which came after back-to-back wins over Lucas Batiste and Adrian Broner? Those two scenarios could not be more different.
Paulie Malignaggi has raised concerns about whether Pacquiao can maintain his form throughout a full fight. He acknowledged Pacquiao's elite preparation but cautioned that, at his age, the body doesn't recover like it once did. Malignaggi emphasized that even the best-conditioned older fighters tend to struggle in championship rounds, where stamina and leg strength are crucial. Still, he conceded that Pacquiao is a special case and could very well defy these physical limitations.
So former 8 Division World Champion, now Hall of Famer, Manny Pacquiao is now gearing up to take on welterweight champion Mario Barrios. And this is going to be an interesting fight. Now, I see a lot of people talking about Pacquiao saying that he's a former shell of himself, which he probably is. But make no mistake, 60% Manny Pacquiao is still good enough to beat on a lot of these young guys. Now, people were talking about Mario Barrios because he beat Udonis Ugas, someone who beat Manny Pacquiao last time out. But styles make fights, and this training footage of Manny Pacquiao training, I don't know. I think Barrios might be in for a long night, especially given his last time out with Ramos.
You ain't lying.
Barrios pointed out that many great fighters have failed in their attempts to defy time, and he believes Pacquiao may face the same fate, especially if the fight goes deep. He stated that youth and endurance are on his side and noted that history favors younger fighters in these matchups. Some critics agree, saying Pacquiao may no longer have the same knockout power. While he might land clean shots, Barrios' youth and durability could allow him to absorb the punishment and survive. They argue Pacquiao will need more than sharp timing, he'll need sustained power to finish the fight early.
Manny's decision and obviously getting thrown right into a title shot.
When you get older, your legs are not the same. You know, you may have very good legs for a few rounds, but as you drag out a long fight, your legs start to betray you. I felt that later in my career. You know, I would get into shape, but now all of a sudden, around 10, 11, 12, yo, my legs are dragging ass, bro. Pacquiao, having not fought in a while, 46 years old, a lot of tough fights, a lot of wear and tear on Manny Pacquiao, but Manny had 70 plus pro fights. A lot of, and he wasn't a defensive specialist. A lot of impact, a lot of back and forth impact. He's 46, you know, he had a lot of heavy wear and tear into his late 30s and early 40s. So how are his legs gonna be? You know, that's my biggest thing, because I think, you know, Manny was a range-changing fighter. He was he was that style, in and out. You know, he's not a pocket guy. And an in-and-out guy needs his legs. And he needs his legs the whole fight, you know? Unless he lands something big. I will say, I think Mario Barrios, I think he sucks.
Interestingly, Barrios' own trainer offered a unique take on Pacquiao's return. He warned that underestimating Pacquiao's inactivity could be a mistake. According to him, Pacquiao may have quietly stayed in shape all along. He suggested that this could actually make him more dangerous, his body might now be well rested and fully recovered, a rare state in boxing. The trainer noted that Pacquiao's sharpness shows he never truly left the sport. While many fans are excited for his return, others argue the fight should never have been made. Critics believe that bringing back retired legends for big paydays risks damaging their legacy. They say Pacquiao has nothing left to prove and that stepping into the ring again, especially against a younger, active fighter, could end up tarnishing his legendary career.
Official. Manny Pacquiao will actually be fighting Mario Barrios for the WBC welterweight title. If this man comes back and beats Barrios, which, if I'm being totally honest, I don't think he's winning this fight even remotely. I think he could actually get stopped, in my opinion. It's not because Manny's not great or nothing. He's one of the greatest of all time. You could argue that he is the greatest of all time. You know what I'm saying? 8th division champion. But he's just too old, man. This man is 46 years of age. If he wins this fight, he ties Bernard Hopkins' record for the oldest champion in boxing. That would be crazy, but if I'm being honest, I just don't see him winning. I see him getting stopped, you know, dropped and stopped, if I'm being honest. You know, he is having trouble with Ampo, bro. And Ampo not even a boxer, he a kickboxer. And yeah, I just don't think he'll, you know, I just think he's too old, if I'm being honest. I just think he's too old for the title. Let me know what y'all think down below.
Mario Barrios for the WBC welterweight title is being targeted for late July in either San Antonio or Las Vegas on Amazon Prime. And Pacquiao is currently in a Senate campaign in the Philippines in May. But after that, he wants to return in the summer for a world title and try to break his own record as the oldest welterweight champion at 46 years old. Now, I have every issue in the world with this. You know, Manny Pacquiao, he's my favorite fighter of all time, but this is just not great for boxing. Pacquiao's last fight was 4 years ago in 2021 against Gervonta Ugas. And in that fight, he looked a lot slower, not as explosive, and he got outboxed. And then last year, when he was targeting the Barrios fight, he had an exhibition against a kickboxer, Rukia Anpo first, and he looked even slower and even more hittable in that fight. You know, I don't think Pacquiao should be sanctioned to fight a world title fight at 46 years old, and not that Barrios is some scary knockout artist or a pound-for-pound level talent. You know, if there's one champ at 147 that Pacquiao could upset, it would be Barrios. But in all likelihood, Barrios being the younger, bigger guy, he's just going to beat Manny for 12 rounds, probably stop him late. So I just don't want to see the fight. You know, Pacquiao's accomplished everything in the sport. He really doesn't need another fight at 46.
That's it for today's video.